Lesson 19, adding and subtracting fractions, then simplifying. So far, students know how to use GCF by itself and LCM by itself. And in this lesson, they'll be required to use both GCF and LCM in the same problem. Let's take a quick look. This lesson is broken up into two parts, Part A and Part B. In Part A, students will simplify fractions. In Part B, students will add and subtract fractions. Additionally, after they add and subtract these fractions, every single problem in Part B will need to be further simplified. Furthermore, every problem in Part A will end up somewhere in Part B. Let's do one example from Part A and one example from Part B. Here's Part A. We have the fraction 18/20ths. And the GCF is 2, so students will divide by 2 and divide by 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. Write it down, and our final answer is 9/10. Again, this answer of 9/10 will end up somewhere in Part B. Let's take a look at an example from Part B. Here we have 1/6 plus 1/10, and we can't add these fractions together yet because sixths and tenths are not the same thing. These two fractions do not have the same denominator, which just means they don't have the same name. So let's use the LCM to change the names of these fractions properly so that we can add them. The LCM of 6 and 10 is 30. So let's write blank over 30 plus blank over 30. How did we get from 6 to 30? We multiplied by 5. So do the same thing in the numerator as well. How did we get from 10 to 30? We multiplied by 3. So do the same thing in the numerator as well. Now, everything becomes just simple multiplication problems. What's 1 times 5? That gives us 5. What's 6 times 5? That gives us 30. Write it down, and oh, it's already there, so we know we're doing it right. Next, we have 1 times 3, which is 3. 10 times 3 is 30, which is already there. Let's go to the next line. 30ths plus 30ths give you 30ths. How many 30ths? We have 8 30ths. And that's our answer so far. Remember, in this lesson, students have to use the LCM and GCF in the same problem. So taking a look at 8 30ths, they can both be simplified even further. The GCF of 8 and 30 is 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2. What is 8 divided by 2? That gives us 4. What is 30 divided by 2? And that gives us 15. Box your final answer of 4/15.